Hey guys, Eileen here from Home Green Happiness. Welcome to November's video. So there's a lot to do today. It is the first nice day in a really long time. We've had so much rain, so it's really nice to be sitting out here in the sun, and today I'm going to be planting out a whole lot of my summer seedlings. So the weather has been really bad lately. There was even snow in the South Island 2 days ago, which is very strange considering it's nearly summer, and here it's been really rainy, so the ground behind me is pretty squelchy, so I haven't really wanted to do anything in the garden anyway until today. It's been nice and sunny all day. It's now 3 p.m. and I've still got a little bit of sun left, so I'm going to do some harvesting of all my winter crops and then get some summer stuff in. I've got some tomatoes to plant and some cucumbers, but saying that, because the weather has been so shocking lately, and it's kind of I don't know, I think it's caught a lot of people off guard who have put their spring and summer seedlings in when they thought it was alright, you know, and then a frost comes and just ruins them. So I'm really grateful that I haven't planted out much yet anyway, so nothing's been ruined, but in saying that, who knows if another frost will come and ruin what I'm going to plant today. So because of those gentle reminders that Mother Nature has been giving us that she is in control, I'm going to plant not only summer stuff now, like my zucchinis and cucumbers and tomatoes. I'm also going to add in some other stuff like celery and some fennel and some I'm going to sow some more Swiss chard and just some things that don't require so much sun, just in case. Who knows what the weather will do. So I've learnt that, especially in New Zealand where you can have 4 seasons in one day, you need to be able to adapt, and I'm going to try adapt my garden. I had a plan to grow some melons, for example, here, and I'm actually not even going to bother planting any up here this season because it's already quite late. Last year this time we were talking about a drought, that's how hot it was, and then that was fine to grow some melons. This season things are so behind, so I'm going to just stick to putting melons in my parents' glass house and not even bother planting them here. And then today I have a whole lot of harvesting to do. I've got lots of kale and stuff and kohlrabi that's gone to seed. Kohlrabi can come out, and then I have some leeks that are going to seed. They never got very big, but now you can see that the flowers are coming, so those can just come out as well. And this is my pea frame that broke in the storm we had a little while ago. So the peas are actually doing quite well. They don't mind. They're just finding new things to climb on. So they can stay, but the frame can go. So I have a whole lot of seedlings behind me that I'm going to plant, but the first thing I need to do is actually find some room to plant and do some harvesting. So I'm going to go and see what I can get. I'm going to start by clearing the broad beans behind me, and I'm going to chop the plants down at the roots. So this way I can leave the roots in the soil and they can return all the nitrogen that they accumulated in their roots back into the soil for the next lot of plants to take up. So that's the broad beans all chopped down. Well, I say chop, but actually I snapped them at the base because I forgot my secateurs. But luckily that's easy to do in broad beans. I'm going to get them though, my secateurs, because all that green I'm going to use as a green mulch. So I'll chop that pretty roughly, but and then spread it around my gardens. Next thing I'm going to harvest are these poor excuses for kohlrabi. They'll still be totally edible, but I'll have to peel them a lot because they've gone to seed and they're going to be a lot tougher. So, oh well, I'll take those out now. I ran down and got my secateurs to cut the kohlrabi because they won't snap at the base like broad beans do, and I still want to leave the roots in the soil to feed the microorganisms. Over here I'm going to take out this celery that's going to seed, and that one too. There's some carrots growing in between, and I have some more celery seedlings that I'm going to plant out somewhere else, but these guys are done. I'm just going to go around and tidy and harvest what I can just to clear some space. All the rain that we've been having has made all the weeds come through on the mulch, so there's quite a bit of grass and stuff growing around. But I have some leaf mulch that I'm going to put on, and our neighbour's tree died. Well, half of it died a couple of weeks ago, I think, because they had a flood on that side and the tree sat in water too long. I'm fairly sure that's what it is, and heaps of the leaves fell down. So I have got my leaf vacuum, which is like my favourite thing to use outside. Got that, and I got all the leaves and it vacuums them up and then it chops them, so it's making a really great leaf mulch. And I'm a big fan of using what I have, so I'm going to put that around as a mulch, as well as just flipping over some of the existing mulch to flip the grass that's germinated upside down. But before I start or do any mulching, I'm going to grab some compost and start planting out the summer veggies. They've been soaking in some seaweed tonic just to avoid transplant shock, and I have waited until the sun has gone to plant them out, so it's not going to be too hot, so they're going to have some time to get accustomed to their new environment. So in here I have lots of cucumbers and some more zucchini, tomatoes, some more loofahs and some basil, and over there I've got some tomatoes. And then here are some of the seedlings that I actually bought the other day because they were having a sale when I was getting stuff for a client, so I couldn't help myself. And I have some celeriac because my own celeriac only like a few seeds germinated, so I've got lots more. Got some more basil, and then I have some candy striped celery and some more fennel and some chili. My scarlet runner beans ended up popping through, but I actually removed them because they grew there and they got way too tall and it just got really messy, so I'm not going to grow them there. I have, however, I sowed some other bean seeds and they've popped through as well, so I'm going to put another arch here and then have beans grow up. Just show you guys the compost that I'm going to be using. So it'll be from this bin here, and we have kept adding to it, but at the bottom it's the stuff that I'm going to be using, so I'm just going to scoop it now from here to there, grab what I need and then scoop it all back in, and that way I'm also putting more air back into the compost. Okay, so at the top is obviously the stuff that has not decomposed yet, but down here that's all nice compost. Just stopped scooping for a bit because I want to show you some of the layers, not the really obvious ones with the food that hasn't broken down yet, but I just want to show you the difference between compost that's like nearly there and then the compost that you're actually after. So this top layer here, it's full of worms and it's looking really nice and dark, but it's not crumbly, and you're wanting your compost to be like dark and crumbly like this stuff. So this is the real bottom layer, and then this is what I'm after, so I'm going to have to be scooping this off even more to get to that stuff. Sometimes I use this stuff and I just layer it on really thick and then I cover it with mulch, and then I kind of let it continue composting in the garden, and that works fine too. But mainly for stuff that I'm not going to plant in yet, like I'd rather put that stuff if I'm going to plant tomatoes, while this stuff I would use when I'm kind of prepping a bed to plant in a couple of weeks later. I just want to show you guys something that I found, the compost. This was the plant-based cellophane that the green cane toilet paper was wrapped in, and then it said it was compostable, and I just wanted to try it and see how fast it would actually break down. Put this in July, and look, you can see it's just like it tears apart and it becomes kind of, I don't even know how to describe this texture. Like, look, so you can see it's not plastic and it's totally breaking down, so that's really cool. Just wanted to show you the update. So I've got my compost, and I was going to plant some tomatoes there, but I don't know what I'm thinking. There's obviously no room, so I'm going to have to remove that kale as well. Okay, I guess it's kale chips for dinner tonight. Still not a huge space, but at least I've got that area now to plant small tomatoes, and then I'll see how long these peas last for. They've only just really started kicking into gear now that they're getting a little bit of sun, but at the same time it's getting a bit hot. So we'll see. Otherwise they'll go as well, and then some tomatoes can go there too. Or at least the ones that I've planted there will have more room. It's such a tight squeeze, which makes for an interesting looking garden when everything gets really big, but it's fun. Okay, and in this space I've got 2 tomatoes that I'm going to plant. Then I'm just making the hole for the tomatoes at the moment, and I just want to show you that I'm doing this all by hand, and it's really easy because this is layers and layers of organic matter that has broken down and just made this really nice crumbly soil. This was all clay before I started doing the no dig method on top, and it's just amazing now. But these tomatoes here have been soaking in some seaweed tonic so that it'll help avoid transplant shock, and I'm going to plant them pretty deep. And then up here I'm going to plant some cucumbers. I've made this trellis thing, and this type that I'm planting doesn't go very high, so hopefully this is high enough, but we will see. I can always extend it if I need to. I just wanted to use what I had lying around the house as opposed to buying anything. I've already bought 2 archways this year, so I think everything else I'm going to try home make myself. So I feel like I've cleared heaps, but then there's still not really much space. I'm going to get some mulch now and start putting that around what I have planted and see what else I can find that I could take out. I'm still waiting on a lot of brassicas, like I've got cauliflower and Romanesco broccoli that haven't quite formed heads, or some of the big ones they have, but they're still quite slow. So once those have like done something, then I can take those out, and then I'll really have space. What I still need to do now is make the other archway for the beans down here, so I'll put that together, or get Shay to put it together for me, and then put that in and find some space for some fennel. I want to make a fennel bed, just a fennel, and I think that I'm going to actually put that up where I just cleared the broad beans. Fennel doesn't grow very well with other stuff, so I think I might just dedicate that to fennel for now. I don't know, I always change my mind. These peas going will also really open up more space for more tomatoes, because I have some left here that I'm just not going to plant out today. I will just leave them in the pot for another couple of weeks until these guys are done. There's quite a few peas already growing. I might not get all of them, but that's okay. Okay, I've just added some compost to this bed here, and I'm going to plant the fennel, and then I'm going to chop up this and use it as a mulch. while I was planting that fennel, I thought of a place to plant the celeriac. So I'm going to put it where the scarlet runner beans were last year. I'm going to lay a nice thick layer of compost, and I'll go grab some more aged manure, and I think I'll plant it there and just see if they do well there. Oh, and speaking of manure, so I have a bag down there that has been sitting there for months and months, and it just breaks down there, and then I grab that. But I also have up the top a manure compost pile. So I've got a post on this on my blog, but it's pretty much just manure and some hay and some grass clippings in a pile, and then I just turn that every so often, and it breaks down a whole lot faster than just leaving it in a bag. So I like to have both going on. Hey, I planted some celeriac there and some over there, and then I've used this little frame here that I had for peas before to add in some extra cucumbers. I also asked Shay to make the arch, and he's bringing that up now. It's been such a mishmash of jobs today, I don't even really know if I have done what I needed to do or not. I just feel like I'm just doing little bits here and there, but it's slowly taking shape. My last thing is going to be the mulch. So I have brought up the big bag of leaves that I chopped up, and I'm going to be spreading those around. That's me done for today. All that's left is to put the compost back into the compost bin, and I'll give the horse manure pile a turn as well. And in the meantime, I'll just keep harvesting, clearing more space so I can get the rest of the seedlings in, but at least I've got some in today, and then I've also got some reserves in case the weather changes again. It does, however, look like it's going to be a nice hot week coming up this week, so I'm going to give everything a really good water tonight as well. And that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.